Hey digital artists, in this video I'm going to review the directions for the Henri Matisse inspired compositions that we'll be creating in Google Drawing. So for this project you're going to create two compositions and I want you to plan out what ideas you might use for each composition. So what kind of shapes will you use? Will they be organic? Will they be geometric? How will you place the shapes? Which ones will be overlapping? And how big or small will your shapes be? I'm also wanting you to plan out what color scheme you might use. So think about the hue wheel and think about the color schemes that Henri Matisse uses in his artwork to help influence your project. So I'm also going to show you how to create transparent or opaque colors using Google Drawing. So your project should have at least 10 shapes for each composition. So we're going to go over some of the different tools like the shape tool, the polyline tool, and the curve tool for your picture. We're going to start off with the shapes tool. So the shapes tool is located in the toolbar, and the shapes tool looks like a circle and a square overlapping. When you use the shapes tool, every new shape goes on top of each other. So first I'll make an oval, and then I'll go into the shapes tool and choose another shape like a triangle. These are both geometric shapes. And notice where they overlap, I can't see the circle because the triangle is on top. Let's choose a few more shapes. I'm going to choose the crescent moon and I'm going to make it very large and thin. Now that I have three shapes, what I'm going to do is change the color of these three shapes. So the fill color tool in the toolbar looks like a paint bucket, and we've used the solid colors, but we could also create a custom color. And when I go to create my custom color, I can make it transparent by using the slider and changing the hue and the value of the color with all three different sliders. So I'm going to create new colors for each shape. And maybe I want to think about using the cool colors for this composition. So I'll try to stick with all different cool colors. And you can see in my composition where the shapes overlap, they mix and make a new color. All of my shapes right now have a black outline. I'm going to remove the outline by choosing the border color tool. The border color tool is right next to the fill color tool, and I can just click the word transparent to turn the border off. Now my shapes have no border. The next tool that I want to show you is the Polyline and Curve tool. These tools are located inside of the line toolbar. So I'm going to choose on the triangle, select line, and I'm going to start off with curve. Now curve makes curving lines, and I click, move the mouse, click, move the mouse, click, move the mouse, and click one time. If I double click, it turns into just a line. If I want to make a shape, I have to click, move the mouse, and click, and bring this line all the way back to where I started. So once I bring my line all the way back to where I started, it snaps together, and when I click, it fills it in. So I said I was going to use cool colors for my composition. So I'm going to choose a new cool color, and I'll leave this one opaque. So I won't play with the transparency, but I will play with the hue. And now if I want to, I can also change the border. I said I'm going to use cool colors, but I could choose a new border by changing the border color, changing the border weight, so the outline or the type of line that I use to go around my shape. One of the things I can do with my shapes is resize them. So if I think that this one needs to be changed, there's two different ways to resize it. You can click and drag the blue anchor squares, or you can double click and move points around. So every purple dot is a spot that I clicked. So I have my organic shape. It is not a geometric shape. And then I can go and use another tool, the Polyline, to make more shapes. Polyline and Curve tool are similar, where you have to click, move the mouse, click, move the mouse, click, move the mouse, and click to make a line. And when you bring that line back to the beginning where you started, you can snap the line together to make a shape. And then you can change the color of that shape. And I said I was going to use cool colors for this composition, so blues, greens, and blue violets. And my personal preference is to maybe turn the border off for my shapes. So far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes. I need to have at least 10 shapes in my composition. So what I'm going to do is make some smaller shapes, because most of the shapes I've made so far are rather large. So what I'll do is add some smaller shapes. And I can choose colors that I've already used to simplify my composition. Or I can use duplicate to make the same of a shape that we already have. So duplicate is when you click on a shape and you choose edit, duplicate. It's like copying and pasting at the same time, because it makes another one in the same place. So I could take this one polyline shape that I've made and flip it around. And make it small. Or I can make it large and change the hue. Maybe I'll use one of these custom colors that I've made before. Now, my artwork has quite a few overlapping shapes. I could just play with the placement of some of these shapes. And one thing I would like to do is show you how to add a background color. And then we can group our picture together and sign our name. So to add a background color, I'm going to press on the checkerboard, alternate on my keyboard, and click. Then I can choose a background. For my background, I can choose one of my colors from the custom, make a new custom, or choose a whole entirely new color. So I'm going to choose this blue value. And I'm looking at my artwork, and I don't really want this border. I'm going to turn it off. I like this much better. So now I have my composition. I need to group my shapes together so they don't move. So I'm going to click, drag, and select everything. I'll choose Arrange, Group, and now my entire picture will move as a group. So if there's something that I want to do, like shrink it down or stretch it out, I can apply that effect to everything all at once. If I don't like that, I can undo to go back to the way things were. Now it's time to sign our name and date. I'm going to use Insert, Word Art, and I'm going to type in my name and the school year. Once my name appears, I'm going to change the font to a font that I like, and you can always explore more fonts to find a font that you like for your project. If you make a mistake, you can always go back in and you could change how you do your signature and your school year. And using word art, you can resize and stretch your name and the letters just like you would with any of the regular shapes that we've made. So I'm going to make my name and decide where I'd like to put it. So there's my signature. And now it's time to write our artist statement and then download our picture to put in our digital art portfolio by clicking File, Download JPEG Image. We're going to talk about writing the artist statement together in class, but you want to make sure that you've made 2 compositions. This composition, I used the cool color schemes. I used blue, violets, and greens. I wonder what color composition you will choose for your 2 compositions. They can both be different,